I got a new keyboard and it's like super clackety clack, loud as shit. So now I just gotta be super careful about not clickety clacking while I'm talking, because that's gonna be a bitch to fucking get out.
We just keep adding more noises for you to have to be concerned about.
So this is our first actual recording in 2025.
Fuck yeah, it
And
is.
it's been a rough start.
Yeah, how's your 2025 going, Gamage?
I mean, me personally, I'm only complaining about minor shit that has no bearing on society, and is like, it's literally just me complaining. But there's like already mass shootings and truck terrorism attacks.
So, I've been immensely busy at work, so I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Can you catch me up on the world?
So in New Orleans, there was like this 40-year-old veteran from Texas who like plowed into a bunch of people.
With a
And apparently
plow
he's
or a
like
car?
with a truck, and apparently he's
Oh.
like all Islamic now and had like an ISIS flag or some shit. I might be butchering the details, but I'm fucking bursting through this. The other one is there's a Cybertruck outside of the Trump Tower that like blew up, and that's like symbolism.
Yeah, I like that symbolism.
Symbolism. Apparently also a veteran. Apparently also served at the same base as the other one.
So what you're saying is 2025 is the year of veterans assaulting people.
Yeah.
Okay. What a theme.
Also, apparently, there's like the H-1B visas or whatever, that whole mess. Like Elon, never mind. I don't want to talk about it. It's dumb political shit, and our podcast is not a political podcast.
It is dumb, though.
It is dumb, yes. The honey thing's a big deal.
The honey thing?
This episode is brought to you by Honey. Haha, just kidding. No, so you know about the Honey browser extension, right?
Yes.
I downloaded it once and I'm like, this is stupid. I don't like it, and I uninstalled it. But apparently, it's pretty like you if you've ever watched a YouTube video or fucking any podcast episode, sooner or later you'll come across Honey. Honey is the number one browser extension to save you money.
Okay. What is going
You know
on with
about it,
honey?
right?
I've heard of it, and I feel like I recently saw it in a headline, so I know that you're leading somewhere with it. Was it like stealing people's data? What was the deal?
I mean, yes, but that's not even like the big
Scratching
thing.
the surface.
It's funny because like years ago, Markiplier like made a video about how like he's like, I don't trust it. There's something weird about it.
Mm.
He declined to do an ad read for it, and he was like, I don't know. It's like it's supposed to be this big thing and it's free. It's completely 100% free, but they seem to be paying a lot of people to market it for them. So where is the money coming from? And turns out he was right. So apparently is people will be like, check out this product by using the link below. It's a honey extension thing, so it'll give you the best deal. So when you click on that link, it takes you to the product. But then your honey browser extension will pop up and saying like, hey, we have coupons for you. And then you use it. So somebody was able to, I forget who, and it sucks because fact checker, could you give me the name of that guy who did the investigation? Because it's important. But he did some deep diving by right clicking and inspecting Element. And what happened was he noticed that the affiliate link would change when Honey did its thing. So basically how it works is that affiliate links are content creator gives a specific link and they get credit for it, and they would get paid for it. It's commission basically.
Yeah.
And if you use the Honey thing after it gets there, then Honey goes, well, we helped you out, so we're taking the commission instead of giving it to that guy, despite the fact you clicked on their link.
Yeah.
Megalag is the guy. Fact checker, thank you. Megalag did a whole inspection on it, and he goes into extensive like research on like how even if it doesn't find you coupons and you click on the Honey extension, it still does it. Even if it says like, hey, you have the best deals, press OK to get rid of this window, and you press OK, it still stole credit. Okay, imagine you are at Staples and you manage to sell a fucking dumb warranty that you don't fucking need.
Yeah.
But then like you take them up to the register and you're like, oh, yep, here you go. And then you walk away and you're like, sweet, hell yeah. And then the cashier's just like, or the CEO fucking comes down and they're like, oh, yeah, put my name on that. That's what's happening. And it's scummy practice. But what's worse is that, like, it gets worse. And there's a part 2 of the video that isn't out yet, but I'm, like, on the edge of my seat waiting. It might even be up by the time this episode airs. But Brittany was still saying that she still likes Honey because she does, like, every now and then she'll like, get a big chunk off. Like, she'll save a lot of money. And she was talking about this one time when, like, Honey basically gave her products for free. Like, it would, like, completely take the price down to, like, negative. So,
oh, shit.
So, like, the vendor would have to pay her. But she wasn't expecting that. She's like, I assume it's free. So the order ended up being canceled. And then, like, she got an email from the seller being like, how dare you? I'm a small business owner. It's crazy that I was going to pay. Like, I have to pay you anything. And, you know, Brittany's like, okay, well, I'm not going to use your service. That's fine. I wasn't expecting it. But,
it's cool.
But it's you know, like, get your shit figured out. Apparently, because there was a teaser for the next video, a lot of sellers were, like, getting crazy coupon deals on their sites that they did not approve of.
Oh.
And Honey's just like,
reaping the rewards.
Yeah, use this coupon that's going to take chunks off of your order, but not getting the seller's approval. So the seller's just like, why am I losing money on this?
The fuck? That's wild.
Legal Eagle is suing them now. That's fun.
I'm very intrigued to deep dive into this at some point.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and, like, fucking everybody's done a Honey ad thing because it's basically it is like, we'll pay you money and you also get commission whenever somebody clicks on your links, and it turns out people weren't getting any of their commission because of that.
Shit. Yeah, great on the consumer side, absolute ass for the seller and the person advertising.
Fact checker says might be worth dedicating an episode to it later. I disagree because this is all I'm going to talk about it. Like, what else do you need to know? That was it.
Honey,
that's all the info. Honey sucks. Like, maybe a preamble in the future, I'll be like, oh yeah, it turns out the CEO did a bunch of shit and then joined the Satanist church or something. I don't know. I don't care. I'm over it.
Church. No, he joined the church.
No, if he joined the Satanist church, he'd be probably more charitable.
I was going to say he'd probably be more likely to join Scientology from what I understand of the business model that he's going off of.
Rachel, shut up. Shh. They will
care about Tom Cruise. This isn't.
It's not Tom Cruise you got to worry about. This
isn't Taylor
Marcus
Swift.
Miscavige or some shit. I don't know.
Who the fuck cares? This isn't Taylor Swift. I'm more worried about a Swiftie stabbing me than I am a fucking Scientologist.
That's my preamble. You got any preamble? I'm planning on making this a hella short episode. Like,
I'm super down for that. I'm exhausted, so.
I wrote up, like, one case, and that's
I just have some stuff in my head. I was
going to try to do another one, but.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have some stuff in your head? You didn't do any actual prep?
No, like, I have stories prepped. I just didn't write them down.
All right. That's fine. It's been a crazy couple weeks, so.
Yeah. I'm fine with it being a chill episode.
Oh, wait. I do have one more preamble.
Okay.
Last week we were talking about Bootsy Collins. Like, that was my recommendation. Did you know that he is collaborated and is featured in Groove is in the Heart?
No? Really?
I didn't know that either. Yeah. Fucking.
That's awesome.
Everybody knows Groove is in the Heart by D-Light. Yeah. But after the last episode, I was, like, doing some random music, as you do, and, like, Groove is in the Heart came on, but it was the extended version, and Bootsy Collins is just like, Bootsy presents Groove is in the Heart. I'm like, fucking shut up. What do you mean? But yeah, like, if you listen to Groove is in the Heart, he's constantly singing it. Every time it does, like, the watch out, that's Bootsy. That's
incredible.
And
what a find.
That's why that song is so fucking catchy and groovy, is because
it's
fucking
Bootsy infused.
Bootsy's in it.
That's awesome. I didn't know that at all. What a beautiful way to start 2025.
Yeah, sure.
Finding out Bootsy
Ignore
is
everything
in
else that I was
Groove is
talking about terrorist attacks and
Yes.
mass
It's
shootings
called
in New York.
horse blinders damage, and it makes the world a better place.
Welcome to We Have That Podcast at Home, the only podcast to wage war on cotton candy. The devil's floss, I say. I'm on brand Gamage.
And I'm on brand Rachel, and each week we play Russian roulette with our success and spin a wheel to find out the genre of the next week's podcast. Last week, our spin landed on true crime.
Yes, and I know we've been a little loose and slutty with true crime lately, so I, for one, want to make up for lost time by approaching this one in a very serious and professional manner, like a
Yes.
real true crime podcast.
Yeah,
And
back to the roots
so
of
I'm
true crime.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to start with my case. I only have one today. It's kind of short, but this is going to be a short episode because, by golly, it's been a fucking hell of a busy week, and we're tired.
We're
y'all.
2 days into the new year, and it's already been a lot. So this is what you get.
All right. I'm going to ask for little interruptions on this.
Heard.
You can interrupt, but just like save it for the good. Save it for something good.
Yeah, I'll hold my tongue. I'm not feeling
Don't
super
be like, what's furnishing? I'll hit you.
We'll reach through the microphone and beat the shit out of you.
That shit was fucking hilarious,
I will
though.
hit you with a truck with an ISIS flag.
Yes.
Topical.
So, I want to begin with a grim case of betrayal and disappointment. What?
No, there was just such a long pause after you told me not to interrupt, so I was trying really hard not to.
Oh, yeah, we got to do silence, too.
Oh, yeah, here.
It's shitty silence because I think something's blooping. I think it's the water.
Blooping. I can hear no bloops. But I know you're like a fucking eagle.
It will.
Ears.
Eagle ears, yes. Eagles best known for their ears.
Yes.
Famous.
What else did you think they were famous for?
All right.
Being bald?
The fog was thick, but low to the ground in the quiet town of Astoria, a utopia to potlucks and PTA meetings. A simple and welcoming community where the closest thing to secrets is what Colleen Gordon puts in her potato salad that makes the flavors pop. Paprika and MSG. The sun had long dipped into the horizon, but the night was still bright in no small part to Katie Ryan's Halloween party. Sure, it was the 28th, but a party of this magnitude on a Tuesday would just be unacceptable. Tangerine Simmons, 17, eager for the promise of adulthood and the opportunities to spread her wings, had just re-entered the party after a quick bathroom break. Her modest, homemade Tinkerbell costume, in 3 shades darker than intended, had already been stained from the cranberry juice intended to be a key ingredient in the cocktail she wasn't allowed to have, now had a larger wet spot where she had failed to lift the fresh stain. Her night was already on the fast track to a massive disappointment, and what she didn't know was that it was only going to worsen. Across the room, she could see the snack table with sober eyes, not unlike a falcon to an empty field. There, looming over the numerous accoutrements, like a titan, was one Murphy Thompson, legendary for his numerous touchdowns several years ago. His renown had fallen out of favor as of late, a normal occurrence in the ecosystem of high school, more so when talent-awarded scholarships are squandered on the pursuit of hooking up and getting high. Murphy Thompson would settle his attention to the bowl of Cool Ranch Doritos and would scoop a significant amount into the makeshift bowl of his shirt, ignoring the paper plates, while announcing his midriff to any and all who would give the attention he craved. Thompson picked a single of his flock and analyzed it closely and with careful focus to establish which side was going to provide the best flavor ratio against his smoke-stained tongue. The speckled golden triangle of the Cool Ranch Dorito cracked along one of the corners, then careened into a bowl of homemade French onion dip. A superfluous decision, but harmless. Thompson took a dainty bite, the kind expected of a debutante wielding a cucumber finger sandwich. At approximately 21:35, Murphy Thompson would return the partially consumed item into the dip. To worsen this crime, the remaining chip was pushed deeper than the space available to the point where Murphy Thompson's dirty, untrimmed thumb would bathe beyond the surface.
Oh, no.
The same thumb he would clear his nose with before wiping it on unsuspecting curtains. Tangerine Simmons was horrified and would have the support of the community had they witnessed the same atrocities she had, but she was alone. She chose her next action in the form of publicly confronting Murphy Thompson and accusing him the crime of double dipping, a decision that would be used as ammunition against her by the accused. A smug smirk hid the wounded pride of the former high school hero. This man would immediately resort to name-calling, insisting that Tangerine was simultaneously a lady of the night and unattractive before bringing her genitalia into question, his words accompanied by the soaked morsel of a once onion-packed tortilla chip. Thompson proceeded to instruct Tangerine Simmons to commit sexual acts upon her own person at a location separate from their current setting. Tangerine Simmons was only able to defend herself by bringing the coated thumb to the attention of onlookers. She proceeded to inform the community that the recent diet habits of Thompson would render adjacency to his breath uninhabitable. It's allyl methyl sulfide, the main ingredient in onions, that causes bad body odor, or in this case, halitosis. Defeated by the truth, Thompson would retreat to the patio, where he would attempt to improve his mood with mating dances and jokes. Unfortunately, his role was secured as a social pariah and ultimately give up and return to his parents' house, where he would complain to Reddit, altering the story to paint him in a more favorable light. And that's his tale of the Double Dipper in Astoria, Oregon.
Good Lord. I feel like was it Tangerine that called him out on the double dipping?
Tangerine did call him out, yes.
Quite the brave move, to be honest. What do you think the jail time is on double dipping?
I checked. I looked up Oregon law, and it turns out none. There's none.
Wow.
You can take it to small claims. You can claim like biohazard contamination, but it's a stretch. You need to find the right lawyer.
I would think it would be taken more seriously.
I would think so too.
Damn. That's a... Gamage, I feel like that was a really heavy opening.
It was a pretty heavy opening. It's also the only opening I have. I'm checked out now, boy.
Okay. Let me see if I can match your energy here. It was the eve of the new year. And an unsuspecting group of friends enters into a small town dive bar on the top of a mountain. The dive bar has music blaring, the bartender's busy, people are dancing, there's drinks being passed around, snacks being had. And this quiet group of friends decided to find a small table in the corner, away from the festivities, to have conversations and card games. They found a booth, cleared the silverware, set out for the next day away, and moved the jellies and the creamers, and then began having friendly, rousing discussions, talking about their past year, talking about their future year, talking about whether or not they were going to make it to midnight. And then the conversation of beginning a card game was brought up. One of these friends brought up that they had cards available in their car right outside. After a brief 15-minute interval, the friend returned, brought out the pack of cards, and they were moist, which meant the rest of the card game... Hold on. Which meant the rest of the card game would be played with sticky, moist cards. Much to the dismay and distraught. Much to the dismay and... How would you say distraught in that sentence? Much to the distraught dismay of all the card players.
I want to keep all that in.
That actually happened to me on New Year's. It was gross.
I was just about to say, like, this is so mundane yet specific. So this can only be a real story.
No, I was laughing when it happened because we had decided to do true party crimes, and I was like, "This is one. You just brought moist cards in, and now like there's you can't. You ever try to shuffle damp cards? They just fold.
No.
It doesn't. Nothing happens. There's no like that distinct like of a card when you shuffle them. None of that. There's no slapping of cards. If there is. It's like when you flap your lips together.
Have you ever taken both sides of a pepperoni and bend them? It's like that, but cards and a lot of them.
Try to shuffle defrosted pepperoni. Room temperature pepperonis. Try to shuffle those. That is what shuffling moist cards is.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was
so specific.
It was quite the experience. It was like every time you got dealt a hand, when you sit there and like organize your cards into the order you want them to be, you're just like trying to do that thing where you rub your fingers together to separate them and you just can't. So then you have to use your fingernail to peel them apart.
Fucking gross. What was the reason behind this? Did they ever explain?
Okay. Yeah. So this friend of mine lives out of their car by choice, not out of like obligation or anything. And they keep the cards in their roof storage, which all of us then promptly questioned. There is not a card-shaped space available inside the car to keep them dry.
I can think of several locations.
Yeah, like no room at all.
The sun visor, the center console.
The fucking glove compartment, just literally fucking anywhere other than the roof.
Fucking up by the speedometer, like the tire outside of the car.
Yeah, would probably be drier.
There's so
than the
many.
Top rack of your car. Yeah, it was quite the experience.
So many options.
Oh, okay. So speaking of party fouls, I got one I want to run by you that happened on my birthday.
Sure.
So my friend Sam, we're all sitting at like a big table and we're chatting. And Sam,
how big was the table? Like, are we talking?
Like 3 tabletops put together, and these tabletops were probably like 3 feet long, 4 feet long, probably 4 feet. So 12 feet in total, perhaps.
Are you going by perimeter or area?
Like metric?
I meant like the calculations of 3 by 4.
I'm joking because I also said 12 feet and then said metric.
But it's the
no,
size
I'm talking
of
about
3 of those,
like
so
one
it's
side.
like 36.
What's like 12 by 4? 48.
The table was, or you said the table's
feet?
like 3 tables.
It's like 48 square feet. Oh, I did say 3 table, not 4 tables. 36 square feet?
That's a big table.
Well, it was 3 put together. We learned math today, kids.
Why 3 tables? Why not 4 and make it a complete square?
Why would I do what? It's not. I didn't put them in an L shape. They were just in a line.
Oh, you put them vertical to vertical, or a horizontal to horizontal.
They're square tables.
Yeah, but if they're square tables, like completely square.
Yeah, it's a 4 by 4 table.
Yeah, but then if you get
together.
3 of them together, that's not a square.
No, I'm saying the individual tables are a square. So how would you put them horizontal by horizontal or vertical by vertical?
I mean, doesn't that make like that weird Tetris shape?
What?
I'm really just trying to like fucking milk the clock here.
Anyway, so we're sitting at this shape of tables. The shape can be ambiguous. Picture it however you would like.
It's a long Tetris line. Thank you, fact checkers.
Yes. Oh my god. the L-shaped one got me. Yeah. And my friend Sam has a beverage, And then she immediately, or not immediately, but very, I want to say unceremoniously, but it felt ceremonious because it was very obvious, loud, and everyone was extremely aware that it happened. Spilled her drink. Giant, brand new, full pint of cider. All over the table, down somebody's lap, across the floor. Like, it just launched and cascaded off of the table and onto the floor.
Oof, that fucking sucks. There's like, it's one of the worst drinks too because of the sugar content. That's gonna get sticky.
Yeah, just a little shtick. The best part about this though is, are you familiar with an Irish goodbye?
Isn't that the one where you just fucking vanish?
You just dip and nobody knows that you're gone until like hours later when somebody goes, "Where the fuck is Gamage?"
Yeah.
So Sam tried to do that after spilling her giant drink. Only I don't know if you know this. When somebody spills a whole ass drink, you become aware of their existence. You become just marginally less known to the world, or more known to the world than you were before. So I have coined what I think is an appropriate term for when you leave suddenly and everyone is extremely aware that it happened.
Really quickly, before you say that though,
yes.
Because I'm very curious, but I do think that the only way to handle that is not with the Irish goodbye, but like if you were to spill it and then stand up and you just say out loud, "Bail," and then you leave.
I have to go.
Bail. That's the Gamage goodbye.
Yeah, essentially. I would like to coin this concept, though, a Scottish goodbye.
A Scottish goodbye.
Yes, and here's why.
You're naming this on behalf of the Scots? Are you Scottish?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, I was about to call you racist as shit, but yeah.
I don't know if that would be racist. But I am technically
I mean, if
Scottish.
You're making like a generalization, like you're saying like, oh, this is a French goodbye. I'm not French, but this is what French people do. Like
Wouldn't that be like nationalist though?
No, that's nationalist is you're against a country, but race is a people. Even if they're like technically the same as you, we're all the same race, baby. It's just like
human race.
Genetics is fucking, people get super hurdy-burpy about it.
Some people get less sunburns than others. Can we not be fucking assholes about it? Cool.
Yeah.
Brr. Anyway, no, I want to call it the Scottish goodbye because I don't know if you've ever heard a Scottish person speak. But it feels loud and very obvious that they're Scottish. So some part of abruptly leaving and everybody knowing feels appropriate for it to be a Scottish goodbye because it is extremely and abundantly obvious that that is what is happening.
I kind of like that.
I do too. I thought it was really funny because I texted her about it right afterwards and was like, "Did you just Scottish goodbye?" And she asked me the next day what the fuck that meant. And I was like, everyone knew that you left after you threw your drink at the floor.
You didn't even say anything. You just got up and walked out. We watched you do it.
I do think she cleaned it, but it was in such rapid succession that it really felt like I dropped my whole beverage and I'm gone now.
Yeah, like, was she just, like, drunk and she's just like, oh,
no,
well,
not even a little bit. Just full party foul. Just no excuse of being intoxicated. That was her first drink of the evening. And it was just, doof, I'm out. It started poorly and I'm gone.
That is like crossing over several actual party fouls because I looked up what is considered a party foul and like, let's see, spilling your drink, especially on someone else. There's one. Showing up
I have a question
empty-handed
for you that is specific to spilling drinks before we move on to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many times do you think you are allowed to spill your drink before you should be kicked out of the party?
Oh, man. I think it depends on the magnitude of spilling drinks. I have been asked to leave bars before from karate chopping them out of people's hands. So technically I was spilling, but like...
with intent.
Yeah, it definitely like... Technically I spilled one, but that was the the
Damage.
how it happened was enough to have me leave. I wasn't even
Damage
that
was
drunk.
charged with assault and spilling with intent.
You know, it's funny. Like, I was asked to leave by somebody else, and then later, there's like this like short bartender who saw me, and like every time I'm in the same room as him, I can hear him. By the way, he like turns to whoever he's with, and he's just like, "That guy gets kicked out of bars all the time. Like, I had to kick him out once." And one of these days, he's never once spoken a word to me. He's just scowled and just said this. But he paints me as like this town drunk. I don't drink. I drank one beer for New Year's Eve, and that's like all I've had since October, I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting how some people just get like a concept of you, and then they just stick with that, and then that's just what they tell everybody.
Yep.
He's short and ugly, so I don't care. Fact checker just informed us of the Tokyo Sayonara, and it is when you leave, but you only say goodbye to the cat.
I love that, because that's definitely how I leave parties. That's the ideal way to leave.
What's the one for birds? Like, you say goodbye to the birds, if they have birds. Don't answer that. I don't actually care. But
Yes, you do. Don't lie.
the story you just said, like, does cross over several party fouls, like, including spilling your drink, especially on someone else.
Oh, yeah.
It
So
also crosses over...
I'm sorry to... The reason I brought it up is because I spilled my beverage probably 5 times on New Year's Eve. Not because I was drunk, just because I just kept slapping it off of things and out of things.
I feel like
One of the
3
times-
times is... And if you... I think 3 times is the amount where it's like, all right, you can't...
It's time to
You have to
go.
be told. You have to be told. You can't spill anymore or throw glasses around, or I will ask you to leave. Like, I think
You need a
three's
sippy
the
cup.
limit.
Do you think there's
Dude.
a sippy cup?
I want to fucking... I feel like bartenders should have like a pint-sized sippy cup, like, and somebody who
Yes.
like spills it twice, like, here you go, and it's got
There you
like
go, bud.
and it's got like an engraving of like baby's first day, like,
Oh, I'll own a bar just to do that.
let's
be
not
so
get into
funny.
the let's open a bar talk, because that leads nowhere.
I run a bar. I don't even have to put that much effort into this. I just order the engraved tops and fuck with people.
Let me know how that works out.
Oh,
But anyway.
I will. Okay, continue down your party foul list.
Well, I was just gonna say what party fouls that was constituting, but I was interrupted like 5 times by your anecdote, so I'm over.
Well, I apologize. I just wanted to clarify how many times I should have been kicked out on New Year's Eve, and it was several.
I see.
All right, fine. I found your list, so fuck you. Yeah, spilling your drink, especially on other people. Showing up empty-handed. It depends on what type of party you're going to, but yeah, you should probably bring something, even if it's just like a little thing for the host. Texting / failing to interact.
Yeah. That's if you're just on your phone
Like
the whole
texting
time.
at the party. I thought it was
Yeah.
saying like failing to text. I was like, why would I be on my phone at a party? But it's saying the opposite of that.
It says texting / failing to interact. It's texting or this. Like,
It's been
it would
a
say
long
failing
fucking
to
week.
text.
Well, it says it. Well, I read it as texting to interact / failing to interact is how my brain read it, which I guess is fine.
What are you gonna do when you get to the dancing / singing obnoxiously? Like, is it singing
I'm
and
gonna
dancing?
be really
is it like a
confused,
music?
Gamage. I'm gonna be intensely confused.
We'll see when you get to that point.
Can I just say one of my biggest fucking pet peeves is when you're like talking to somebody, and I don't necessarily mean like I'll hang out at your guys' house, and when I'm spending the night and stuff, like we'll each individually be on our phones at some point. That shit doesn't bother me. If you specifically set aside time to hang out with somebody one-on-one, and then they pull out their phone it multiple times or for a lot of the time that you're together, nothing pisses me off more than that shit. And I'm like, don't fucking invite me over then. I don't need to be here. Fuck you. Like, way to waste my time.
Well, it depends. Like, are we hanging out and it happens to be like 4:30? Because like I got my dailies on my game to do. Like, hold on, I gotta do my dailies.
No, but like,
or if
there's
it's a text, because normal people, Rachel, will check their texts when they get them.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But here's my thing. If I were
Oh
like
no, I'm
taking
with
image,
you. I'm ultimately with you. I'm not.
yes.
I was
No,
playing
I know.
devil's
You're just giving
advocate
me shit. Yeah.
and also giving you shit for that. But I'm with you.
Well,
Like
and there's
if you
like,
set aside time, if you are planning
yes.
something. Now, if okay, I will make an argument because this does include me. If somebody else in your party makes plans on your behalf, then I think that you're allowed to do the phone. Like how like Brittany
Yes.
will fucking drag me to bullshit family
I was
things.
going to
I'm
say
I'm
time
gonna
to
be on my
throw
phone.
Brittany under the
I
bus.
didn't I didn't plan to be here. I'm on my
Yes.
phone because I
Yes,
didn't
and
set time
that's totally
aside.
fine.
I'm
Well,
here as a hostage.
that or
I'm here as
like
a witness to events.
well, you're not witnessing shit if you're looking at your phone. Get it together. No, that's like I'll go to my dad's house and nobody fucking talks to each other. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on my phone. I don't want to watch football. Screw you
Yeah,
guys.
it
They're like,
sounds
it's
fucking
okay.
hella
It's
boring.
fine. Yeah, like that's fine. But if we go out to dinner and you spend time, like a bunch of the time on your phone reading fucking messages from other people, you're an asshole. One of my friends, my biggest fucking pet peeve is she's on her phone all the time. And I'm like, don't say yes to hanging out. If all you're going to do is be on Discord.
Well, what's the comparison? Like, are you comparing it to you?
No, just to.
At least fucking people around you are on Discord. Never look at Discord.
Yeah, I'm just getting emotional. No,
I
I
am getting
super
very
don't look at
emotional.
my shit enough. And other people
Yeah.
look at it too much. There's only like one or two people in my life that do this, but it really grinds my gears when it happens.
Yeah, I do want to explore. Is this, are you comparing it to your time? Like, this is like how much time they're spending on their phone compared to you, which is like a minute is like, Jesus, you're always on your phone. Or is it
No, no, no,
like
no.
an objectively excessive amount?
No, I'm talking about like the other day. I forget where we were going. I think we were gonna go watch a movie with my friend and her sister, who is also a friend of mine. And so she came to come pick me up. And the second I got in her car, she spent like 10 minutes looking at her Discord messages, laughing about them and responding to them. And I was like, we're already late for this film. Can we go? Like you're supposed to be driving us there now.
Your friend sounds fucking awesome. Let's get a hangout sesh going because I want to Discord with her.
Go for it. She'll respond extremely promptly.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on your phone constantly, like nobody is so important that they're like getting just a barrage of messages while they're out and about. But yes, definitely take time for it later, or just be like, all right, I'm out doing this thing, so I'm gonna be silent for a bit.
Yeah, well, and there's hangouts where like I'll go over to her house and we're just like chilling, and I don't really care about it then. But when we're like going somewhere, have things to do, or like sitting down at, I think what it really gets me is when you're like sharing a meal with somebody and they totally check out to be on their phone. I think that's rude as fuck.
Yeah,
Like if
I
I'm
agree,
sitting
especially
across
because
from
like
you at a table and you're not like sharing something with me on your phone, you're being a dick.
I mean, I definitely am guilty of doing that, and I will continue to do that. But I'm with you that it sucks and it's dickish behavior. But I also don't care. I'm gonna live my life.
I like to send people things when they're like on their phone across from me. I'll just start sending them gifs of people staring at them. And that I think is entertaining. The next on the party foul list is getting on the furniture, and I don't know what the fuck else is on this list, but I think it should be at the fucking top. 'Cause never in my life have I gone to a party and been drunk enough to think I need to stand on your couch.
I mean, these aren't in any specific order, but yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It's definitely like the Rick James, Charlie Murphy situation where like you're just like, fuck your couch. Like you don't put your feet on the couch.
What? Yeah, what? Where were you raised that people do this?
They weren't. They were birthed by a stone in the woods.
With a fucking wizard present who's ready to murder people. Dancing and singing obnoxiously. Actually, how the fuck is that a party foul?
I was thinking that's too, but I want to think that it is, the obnoxiously is a very like watchword here. I think it is if you are dancing and singing but nobody else is dancing or singing. Like if there's like a dance happening and everybody's dancing and you're dancing obnoxiously, I think you're blending in. It's fine unless it's that wild. But if it's like you're the only one dancing or singing and everybody's watching, I think that might be
Okay, but let me see you
where it
that
is.
situation and raise you another. How do you think dancing and singing starts at a party? At some point, one person has to start it.
There's usually like a designated area, and if somebody goes to that designated area, sure. But what I'm saying is if nobody's dancing, it's usually because there's no designated area or even music happening.
I don't know. I
And if
think
there
you're
is music
adding a lot
happening
of
and you're singing over it, that's a problem too.
I think you're adding a lot of possible context that could also
What?
possibly be untrue.
Well, that's why I'm saying is the obnoxiously in this is like the cornerstone that kind of ties it together.
Yeah, I guess.
Dancing and singing is fine. It's when it's like to a point where it's like you are creating a problematic environment.
Here, let me validate what you're saying here. Once upon a time,
I mean,
somebody
I already
lived
did, but
above me
thanks.
that I didn't. I know, but I'm gonna level with you with a situation that's happened to me. Once
Sure.
upon a time, someone lived above me that was a really fucking obnoxious neighbor, and the floor.
That was like last week. What are you talking about?
No. This was the one 2 summers ago. And at like 1:30 in the morning, they were all clearly very drunk, and one of them started singing karaoke to not even the song playing, and it sounded like multiple cats dying for like 15 minutes, and then they all passed out. That is what I would say counts as obnoxiously singing.
Yeah. Man, one time I fucking like back like this is when I was like living in Missouri, but there was a neighbor who was so loud and he was like singing Nickelback and he's like singing louder than Chad Kroger and boy, Chad sounds like an angel next to some people.
I'm so sorry. I scrolled down and I like the juxtaposition of these being directly next to each other.
I see it. Yes, go.
Refusing to take part in the group shot. Hold your
Oh,
opinions.
I thought you were gonna
Hold
talk about shouting constantly.
No, that's also good, but I got so excited for the next one I'm skipping to it.
Yeah, sure.
Refusing to take part in the group shot. Hold your opinions, because I had some. Forcing others to take shots they don't want. Okay, so let's go back. Let's analyze this situation. Refusing to take part in the group shot. A, what if I don't want to? B, what if I don't drink alcohol? And then let's move on to forcing others to take shots they don't want. So, one party foul is if I refuse, which inherently is applying pressure to force me to take a shot I don't want. And the next party foul is doing exactly that. What's sort of like snake eating its own tail conundrum?
I can
This
tell
is
you're
dumb.
not reading the descriptions because the description on it does say the yin to the above party foul yang.
Does it really?
Yeah, it says it right there. Well, they said the yin. It's not ying, it's yin, silly.
Oh yeah. Yin to my yang. Yeah, I don't think there's a G on it.
No. But the refusing to take part in the group shot is more like you don't have to take a shot of the fireball. You can use a glass of wine or even apple juice. Just fucking, you got to be merry with the people. The group shot, participate.
Yeah, it's about the vibe, not the content.
And then the secondary part, the forcing others to take shots, is like, no, you put that wine and or apple juice down. You take this fireball. That I think that's what it's talking about. Is like the extreme. Yes. The extremes is where it is. Yeah. You want to be in the middle.
I do like these descriptions because they're kind of fucking passive aggressive. Like, and there you are, drinkless and scowling. Okay.
Yeah, it's good content that we're just reading somebody else's writing.
Yeah. Changing the song. Oh, I have actually a really good story for this. Maybe not really good because I wasn't there.
Great.
So, all right. So, at my job.
Let me tell you about the 3rd episode of Dragon Ball Z in the 2nd season.
The 5th line. No. So, There, at my job, we have J1 visa workers who come here from different countries, largely South America in wintertime. And they all like to go to this place that is affectionately referred to as the Pee Hole. And it's a shitty dive bar attached to a diner that's called the Pancake House. So the dive bar is also the Pancake House, but we call it the Pee Hole because it's a shitty dive bar.
Jesus,
But
there's a lot
we're
happening.
we're on a mountain. So, like, there's nothing else to fucking do and nothing else open late at night other than this crappy fucking bar. So, all of the J1s treat it like a dance nightclub, and they'll roll in at 12 a.m. in, like, sparkly jumpsuits and full, like, classy suits with cufflinks and shit, and just get fully dressed up, start bumping Spanish music, and there's lights, like light shows and crap, and they just turn it into a giant club. One of the bartenders apparently he's a giant fucking douche. He got so pissed at one of them for changing like the music, which is like, it's very normal for them to show up and it to be like, this is one person playing a song and then they'll play a song and then somebody else will play a song. Like the rotating is pretty normal. The queue is just constantly growing with people requesting shit. He got so mad at one of them for changing the style of music that he physically fought them in the bar. And now all these poor kids who only had like one fun place to go refuse to go there and they're boycotting it, which is also like this place's entire fucking revenue
Customer
stream.
Base, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this dumbass just fucked this up for everybody. So, party foul, perhaps changing the song. Bigger party foul, punching somebody in the face for changing the song.
I mean, that's in here, I'm sure.
Ooh, flirting aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like respecting boundaries and like not.
Yes.
I mean, that's just like, it says flirting aggressively, but really it's saying like, don't sexually assault people.
Yeah, it's unconsensual flirting. Well, because you don't even have to sexually assault people. You could just be a creep. I do like the concept of flirting aggressively in the sense of like, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a pickup line of just like angrily saying pickup lines.
It's like a dick pic, but with words.
Yes. What? I'm trying to think of like any pickup line I know.
Oh, the classic.
I got it.
An angel,
Are you
or
wearing?
did it hurt?
Are you wearing space pants?
Why are you Batman?
Because your ass is out of this world.
Why is Batman hitting on me?
I'm flirting aggressively.
Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
You come here often? My voice cracked while I did that. Oh, man.
I'm going through some changes. This is a mess.
Do you want to go through them with me?
Let's wrap this shit up. I said a short episode.
You're like, now that Batman's flirting with me, I'm scared.
Yeah, Batman is the line. Batman's the ripcord for this podcast. Oh, Batman, pull it. We gotta fucking vacate. I call it the DC goodbye.
How's losing your drink a party foul?
I mean, because it creates mess is what's happening. Like, you always see like those like 80s movies of like the person the next day like cleaning up the party and they're like, oh, all these half-filled cups. And there's this liquid death here that just had 2 drinks out of it that's just sitting here on the coffee table now.
Don't call me out again. Fuck you.
What? I didn't say any names.
Okay, here's my thing. I think losing your drink, pretty fucking normal at a party. I think a bigger party foul is if you leave before like helping clean up literally fucking anything. Just pick up a couple things on your way out if you're leaving early. Or if you're there at close, fuck it, you stayed too long. Sorry, you gotta help pick shit up.
Yeah.
I called Chris Rachel the other day for not finishing his liquid death. It's just a term now. Thank you, fact checker.
Yeah, I was like really tired. And I went to bed and Brittany like opened the bedroom door and she's just like, Rachel, you didn't finish this liquid death. It was like less than a quarter left. And I'm like, hand me that bitch. I'll crush it now.
If it makes you feel any better and or possibly worse, Sometimes I will open a bubbly water and not finish it, and I get mad at myself for opening it too close to when I'm trying to go to sleep, because I'm like, God damn it, it's not going to be good in the morning. And I get really pissed.
Make those weird soda toppers that don't work.
But
I think the thing with the losing your drink is just a matter of like, because you're creating waste and you're wasting booze because nobody's gonna touch it, and then you're getting a new cup. Like it's just creating, like, fucking
mark your drink.
Be a normal person. To get your cup, your one cup. You fill the drinks. You drink the drinks. You don't waste.
Or you know what? You can solve this problem entirely and just play Edward 40 hands.
Yes.
Where you just duct tape 2 40s to your hands, and then you can't lose your drink because it is duct taped to you.
That is indeed Edward 40 hands. You ever play Wizard Staff? That's a fun one.
Somebody just told me about Wizard Staff, and it does sound really fun. And they explain that you can cast spells on lesser wizards. I know, but I've never heard any of the rules or anything. I knew it was like a thing that existed and involved taping it, like stacking your drinks.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was rules where you could place like curses and spells on lesser wizards.
Well, I mean, that's like it's kind of like King's Cup, where like it's very like colloquial, where it's like there's local rules depending on where you're at, like regional kind of things.
Regional wizardry ordinances. Yeah. Puking is for sure a party foul.
Oh yeah, I mean, thankfully I've kept my puking to outside of their house, but I. Like, I would only puke outside of people's houses, which I would call the Gamage goodbye. That's the real Gamage goodbye. I was like, well, goodbye, everybody. It's outside, doesn't count. And then I just leave.
It doesn't count if it's in the walkway.
Doesn't count.
My all-time favorite party puking story is... this girl that I used to work with showed up at my house. I think I was throwing a Halloween party, and she brought an entire blender to make margaritas. And just like huge bag of just all the fixings, including the blender, which just tickled me. Then got so fucked up that she went into the bathroom and proceeded to vomit like all over the walls, the floor, and the toilet. But then she cleaned all of it. Like well, too. Not poorly. Did a really great job, and then came out of the bathroom and proceeded to inform me that she vomited all over the walls. So her being piss fucking drunk, I went and checked on it and was like, I would have never known. You didn't even have to tell me. You didn't miss a single spot. Like, it smells better in here than it did at the beginning of the party.
There was no evidence. It was the perfect crime.
Yeah,
you just walked into
you didn't have to say shit.
You just walked into the police station. I did it. Stabbed a guy. It was all me.
Yep. Like, nobody would have known. My second favorite is that a friend of mine, when we were right out of high school, got really drunk and threw up in his toilet. Only he had had a cup of noodles or something that day. And for whatever reason, the way in which he vomited around the toilet, there was just noodles on the back of the toilet. And like nothing else. It was just wet noodles all over the back of the toilet. And then the rest of the vomit, I guess, made it into the toilet somehow, or he cleaned the liquid. I don't really know. But I just came upstairs. This person did not do a good job of cleaning up, because I came upstairs and there was just a pile of noodles on the seat. I was like, okay. I don't know what happened here.
Well, this has been like the worst true crime episode.
Yeah, we started in one place and then we just ended up reading a list.
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
the whole
guys.
thing was a joke of like, oh, party, like what would true crime for parties be?
I think,
and then abandoned it as fast as we could.
I think the concept would have been great had either of us had the time and energy to put more into it.
I put some time and effort into mine yesterday morning on the toilet.
Yes, exactly. And I think if we had done that like 3 times each, we probably could have filled an episode.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're here. You don't come to us for well put together things, and we know that. And it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, you come here for the fucking bitchin' music recommendations we got.
Yes, which is exactly why we're going to tell you the tunes that we're bringing this week.
So mine's fun. I actually have like a little bit of a story for it.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
have you ever, I know you have, ever, because you live life just like me on a shuffle into the world of music and just find whatever you can. Have you
Fuck
ever come
yeah.
across music that you're like, damn, I like this, but then you lose it and then you're like, what was that song? What was that band? I really like them. And you just kind of you just it's gone. It's you have no
Yes.
concept of how to get it back. But then you talk to somebody and they recommend it, and then you listen to it and you're like, oh shit, I know this. Yes. That happened to me. So last Saturday,
I
went
love
out to
that.
dinner with friends, including Roy and Sabina, and I was talking to them
Fuck yeah.
about music and like my music, for, like our episode about music for the year. I was telling Sabina about the Poppy metal album, and she
I
texted me
gathered.
later. She texted me later, like mind blown because she listened to it. She really liked it, I guess. But I was telling Roy
I
about it.
really like that album.
I told you, right? It's fucking
It
good.
turned out really good.
It's the transitions are incredible.
Yeah, I recommended it to somebody like the second I started listening to it because I was like, this needs more people listening to it.
It's got a lot of depth and variety to it because it's not just like, look, I love Slipknot, but like if you kind of listen to one, you kind of know what the formula is. Like
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, I
kind
get
of know
what you
what to
mean.
expect with most metal music is like, all right, I love this song. I do love Slipknot and I do love many of the songs. So many songs, binders of songs, but like you do kind of get the gimmick and you're like, all right, I
Mm-hmm.
understand what your whole thing is. But Poppies is like totally like, oh, you're doing this style now. Oh, you're doing that style now. Oh, Jesus. It's all over the place. It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's some talent. Actually, not even, I can't even say some. There's a lot of talent floating around that album.
I
It's
do
crazy.
recommend her like earlier stuff that's like more electronic pop because that stuff's, I mean, it's all, I've been listening to it since the beginning. It's all good, and just this one just was just, boy, it's good. Anyway, I'm not recommending that. I already did that. But we were talking, Sabina, Roy, and I, and Roy mentioned a band, and Sabina's like, "Oh yeah, they're really good. It's Electric Callboy." And I even like texted Roy later. I'm like, "What was that band you guys were talking about?" And he said Electric Callboy, and I pulled him up, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I listened to the shit out of these guys. I really like them. They're like German metal. They also have like industrial kind of techno
Ooh,
bits to it too.
fuck yeah.
Um, they do a song with baby metal called Ratatata, and it's really good. If you don't know baby metal, they're like Japanese pop idol but metal girls.
Uh-huh.
But I want to recommend the song that I've been searching for, and I was like, it's like a cover of an NSYNC song, but I don't remember. But I found it because the band. It's technically not a cover. It's Baby TUMH, and it stands for Tearing Up My Heart because that whole chorus is like in the song, but it's like a metal song around it too, and it's fucking good.
Okay. Sick.
Thank you, Roy and Sabina, for reminding me of this band because it's one of the many lost ones, and there's so many more that like
Dude,
I'll
there's
never get
nothing
back.
I hate more than when you really find something that you vibe with. And then for me, it's always for whatever reason I don't save it into my playlist. I just really enjoy it while it's happening. And then I get really pissed off when I realize that I fucked myself over.
Yep, and that's why you and I have like these several different like playlists that are just a bunch of fucking schizophrenia nightmare picks of just like it's got
Yes,
this
of
and that
just
and this
shit
and that, and
all
it's
over.
just huge. But then you have to sooner or later you're like, wow, this is kind of chaotic, and you abandon it and you make a new one, and the cycle starts again.
See, I don't
I have like
abandon
3 of
mine.
those.
I just accept that my playlist is an abortion child and it has like 3,000 songs on it and is a clusterfuck. You can go through so many different emotions just hitting shuffle.
I got to start just labeling these playlists by the year that I made them. It'll be a lot
There you
easier to
go.
categorize
That
them.
honestly, I might jump on board with making a things I like playlist for each year cuz I think I would enjoy doing that more than I would trying to organize them into some like genre category or anything. I actually like that a lot. I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to make a 2025 playlist
Do it.
of shit that I enjoyed in 2025.
Speaking of
Um,
2025 shit you've enjoyed, What are
Yeah,
you
I
enjoying
got
right now?
new music for you. So there is an artiste that I think is called Naika. It's Nai with the umlauts, Ka. I don't know how to speak umlaut, so Naika, unsure. She is a Haitian French artist that does like dance electronic pop.
That's my
But
jam.
fucking real good. I really like the song that introduced me to her is the one that I'm gonna recommend to you guys. I just think it's a really good. It's just got like a good beat, good vibe, and it's kind of a romance song, but it's called For Gerard by Naika, and it's real good. Go give it a listen. She's got nice style.
I don't think
It's
those
the
are
kind that makes you
umlauts.
want to
Umlauts are
groove.
the German one, isn't it? That's
What? Umlauts are just when there's two dots over a word.
no, that's I. It's called accents, but umlauts is the like curvy line, isn't it?
No,
Fact checker,
umlauts is the two dots used over a vowel.
because I thought that was just. How do you even spell umlaut?
It's like
Umlaut.
I think umlaut. I think is
A
how you would
mark.
spell.
A mark used over a vowel, as in German or Hungarian, to indicate different vowel quality, usually fronting or rounding. So is it all of them? I thought it was like a German word, like umlaut is very German.
Umlauts might be the word for it, like
Like
in
the
German.
German word, yeah.
But I thought that was just. So what are they called when they're just?
I always thought it was accents or not accents.
Here
Fuck.
I googled it and it said umlaut or diacritic
Oh yes.
is perhaps the like English version of the general, because I'm sure each language has its own word for it. But
Yeah.
this is
Like I don't think it's called an umlaut in Spanish.
an umlaut or a diaresis.
Ablaut is the other one that I was thinking of.
Is it umlaut or diarrhea? Is what I've gathered. No, I think umlaut or diaresis seems to be the general term that is used in English to describe these.
Anyway, so
Now
totally
that we've
listen
shown
to
how
For Gerard
not cultured we are.
Totally listen to For Gerard by Naika.
Yes.
It sounds like I'm gonna
That.
enjoy it.
Yeah, it's really good. I think you'll like it a lot. It's like a good, I don't know, you know when you listen to a song and you just kind of want to groove to it? It's got
Yes.
that vibe to it. That whole album that it's on is it's called Lost in Paradise Part 2. Paradise is also spelled with diareses.
Lost in Paradise
but-
is another song that's really good too.
Oh, there you go. By Whomst.
I forget.
Wow, that's a first for you.
It's a Japanese one. It's Ali, that's right. Duh, ALI. It's they do anime music and stuff. I listen to a lot of worldly things, but I find myself in front of Japanese stuff a lot. A lot of worldly things.
because you're a weeb.
I'm not.
Anyway.
I am married to one for sure. But
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
definitely not as much as I think I was like when I was in high school.
Yeah, you're more of like a web.
I'm. It's just a we.
It's just a we. I thought web was good because it's a shortened version where you like it's not as emphatic, but also you like Spider-Man, so a web felt right for you.
Yeah, you're right. Actually.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard or you thought our version of True Party Crimes is fucking stupid, you know what we didn't talk about during this True Party Crimes episode is the podcast that investigates somebody shitting on the dance floor or like shitting on the floor at their wedding.
Well, we try not to talk about other podcasts on this podcast.
Well, but you should go listen to that. You're done listening to this episode. You've got time. But before you go there, please like, subscribe, and download on whatever your most favorite podcasting place is. If you want us to talk about a thing or you want to recommend us a thing, please email us at whtpah@gmail.com. That's whoopah@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at We Have That Podcast at Home. Fact checker posts cool reels and shit, as I think what they are called on Instagram. I don't know. I don't do the socials. Not well, at least. Or you can find us at WHTPAH on Blue Sky. That's whoopah on Blue Sky, because fuck Senior Musk. Yeah, give us a I was going to say a ring, but don't call me. That would be really weird.
Yeah, or show up on our doorstep and talk to the Ring camera. That's
Yeah, that would be
even weirder.
Yeah.
And I want to thank me for the use of our theme song, Swings and Rice, off of the album Righteous Ass Belongs in Teal Chaps, which is available as a reward for completing the Trial of the Laughing Moon in Wyoming.
Dude, I've been trying to complete that trial.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
I mean, you're being
I'm working on it
timed,
for
and
like
there's like
6 days.
it's a bad platform. It's a bad janky platformer, and then also
Yeah.
like there's the underwater parts. Like you barely have enough oxygen to get through the hoops.
Well, and sometimes the double jump doesn't work. You can mash that button and it just won't.
Well, it's like, no, you could sit there and double jump, that's fine, but like if you're trying to do a time thing, like you push the joystick up to like to get off the platform, if you don't jump completely off the platform first, that double jump will not work. Like it's one of those dumb programming things where it's like if you're just slightly off of it, it doesn't register shit and you just fall to death.
Yeah.
Like it sucks.
Yeah, you got to pass the threshold, otherwise you're fucked.
Anyway, what are we doing next week?
Well, when you get past the trial, circle back. We'll have another episode for you. I'm sure it will take you more than 7 days to finish it. But next week, we are going to talk about... I'm spinning it again because it landed on true crime, and this was obviously a shit show, so we're going to try a different thing. It's comedy, motherfucker!
Well... I see. And I have been off-brand Gamage.
And I have been off-brand Rachel. And this has been We Have That Podcast at Home.